heard from him, but just to give you a summary of what exactly was entailed in his speech. He strongly, at the last end of his speech, he strongly condemned the issues of land wrangles happening in his kingdom, and he was very, very tough as he issued some directives or orders, notifying all the whole community of Toro sub-region that there is no one in this kingdom who has the authority and power to evict someone from the kingdom's land. And he has guided that for whoever is a squatter or tenant on the land of the kingdom, he or she has just to comply and go through the available and the concerned officers in the kingdom in that regard, which is managing the kingdom's land, to ensure that they can pay some little fees which can allow the continuity of their tenancy on different plots or land where they are residing. But it says there's no one who has that powers to evict the tenants who are the subjects of the kingdom on that land. And he has made it very clear that the kingdom has no intentions of evicting any of the squatters, any of the tenants on its land, but it is a matter of compliance, and these people will continue living peacefully or sitting peacefully on their pieces of land. So that has been part of the communication here, but he also reminded the communities of Toro, but Uganda at large, that indeed the scourge of AIDS is still around. It still poses opportunities, and you might have watched different publications a few months ago, even weeks ago, where the Rwenzori, Bunyoro, Toro, as it is even a few parts of central Uganda, that the HIV infection rate is high, and this does not leave or spare the kingdom of Toro. So the king has re-echoed again that indeed the communities of this kingdom of Toro might stay away from those vices which made them very vulnerable to contracting or even being part of the victims of the scourge of HIV/AIDS. And mainly this message goes to the youth that indeed they must be very, very vigilant. They must be very, very careful that indeed AIDS is still around. On your screens is still the photo moments here. We are almost at the tail end of this program here from Karuzika Palace, but I was still giving you a few touches of what exactly the king was communicating to his subjects and to you, our viewers of UBC TV, who are watching this coverage across the entire country, that the king has strongly talked about the issues affecting the youth. He says, yes, there are government programs, but the kingdom is also coming forward to put around some projects which are aiming at uplifting the well-beings of the communities of not only this kingdom, but of course for whoever is living within the territories of Toro sub-region. He also talked of skilling things, that there are different programs the kingdom and the king himself he is spearheading to ensure that the youth of this region, the youth of this kingdom can acquire one or two skills which can at least make a change in their life. So he has called upon some part of support and adherence. If there is an opportunity, especially the youth watching us, go and grab it, because we are saying skills is the better way to go. So those are a few of the communications which were, it was a brief one. As you know, the king is always very brief. It was a rich one. He also talked about the issues of health. We must continue. Then there have been, I think, some sort of confusion in the kingdom's preparation in line with the sports activities which were leading us to this celebration. And indeed, he acknowledges that there were some mistakes, but he has directly that those mistakes must be corrected to ensure that in the coming edition of the Kingdom Sports Gala, sports events, those mistakes cannot again reoccur again. So this says next year, in the next celebrations, again, he's bringing on board the females. I think we shall see more of the female sports activities also coming in. He talked about more facilities to be constructed within Fort Portal City, all aiming at nurturing talent and ensuring that there's also more talented youth, men and girls, who are coming from this region of Toro. So, your viewers, still a photo moment on your screens, and the king flanked there by the Queen Mother, are giving in a few minutes of their precious time to give most of the dignitaries or guests here that memorable moment of taking home a photo with the two precious leaders of this kingdom, that is the king and his mother. There have been a lot of guests here ranging from politicians, as you might have seen the political leaders from all different political parties. You know, these are events which attract unity across all our society activities, where religious leaders, you find them sitting next to the Catholics. So it is such rich that this is what kingdoms or what culture comes along with. Like, you see unity where everyone puts aside the differences in our own daily thinking, our association, but for such occasions we rally behind one aspect, that is celebrating the diversity and the rich culture, like we are here at Karuzika Palace in Fort Portal City. As soon as the photo moment will be concluded, we are yet to be guided on what's next on the program, but I think we are at the tail end of this celebration, coming to you live from Fort Portal, the tourism city of Uganda. And we want to thank you. We started this broadcast as early as midday, and you have kept on our sets wherever you are. But on the other hand, our team is in Kisoro district, where we understand there is a send-off of the foreign state minister for defense and veteran affairs, Honorable Sarah Mateke. A section of government leaders are already in Kisoro district to ensure that they give a befitting send-off of the daughter of the soil. So we will be giving you the wrap-up of what could have transpired along every part of the country in our subsequent news bulletins later on in the day. For those who follow religiously UBC, we have the Kiswahili bulletin coming in at times at 6:30 or 6 p.m. But then we have the Uganda news bulletin UBC Lero at exactly 7, where we give you expanded news broadcasts in Uganda. And then we jump into the UBC Tonight news bulletin that is specifically in English at 8 and 10. But then on our sister TV, Star TV, we have a news bulletin in Uganda always at 9, Monday to Monday. So with what you are not seeing on your screens right now, but rest assured that our reporters across the entire country will make a summary of the day's happenings, and we will give you it live at all those time intervals. Here, the celebration has been a bit very colorful. The atmosphere has been very beautiful. There's nothing which has at least affected any of the programs. I think the organizers, as they might have programmed this celebration, they are very, very much sure that indeed they have delivered the best as to their plans. But Toro sub-region, Toro Kingdom as a kingdom, it is one of the richest kingdoms in terms of the tourism opportunities. There are a lot of tourism exports and imports happening here in Toro, where almost on a very day basis, hundreds of tourists are flocking this region to at least taste the flavor of the tourism embroiled in this region. And it is on that and other premises that government has been advised and urged almost at all times to ensure that they increase its financial support in terms of capacity building, where we need infrastructure, we need hotels, and then in terms of resources, we need to give money to these local communities to ensure that we preserve, first of all. If we don't preserve this cultural, because some of the cultural institutions or arts here in Toro have also become some of making or forming up some of the tourism activities which is happening here in Toro sub-region. So on that hand, then this is also brings us to the side of where's the youth. When you look around this celebration, the youth takes the biggest percentage of the participants here, of the celebrants. Not only that the king we are watching on your screen is as young as them, but because the king is an inspiration to them. for a leader who resonates with their thinking, with their desires, because when you talk of sports, many of the youth here are sport addicts, and the king, you have seen him on several occasions participating in person at different sports activities within not only in Toro but in the entire country. So he draws that attention of the youth, and there is hope that indeed this kingdom is living, will thrive tomorrow. It's not a kingdom which is not going to die tomorrow, much as it is over 180 years, but there is that sense of continuity, because the generation, there seems to be a very strong foundation that this kingdom will move from this generation up to the coming generation. And we must appreciate, as you have heard from different speakers, the Queen Mother, Best Kemigisa, has been at the forefront of nurturing the young king to the level of where we are today, celebrating the 29 years of him as the king of this monarchy. Different guests, not only from Uganda, but we have seen different guests almost from every corner of the country, every corner of the world, coming to attend this year's coronation anniversary of the Mpango here in Poto. The voice listening to is that of Robert Onyango, and the pictures on your screens are the photo moments of the king. You can see the smile there with guests who have come to celebrate this memorable journey of 29 years as King Oyo Kabamba Iguru Rukidi IV celebrates his anniversary of 29 years. We are not yet sure of what's next on the program, but as soon as we get it, we will wrap up this broadcasting style, and we will thank you for keeping it on UBC. For now, I will continue engaging you here as we wait to wrap up this broadcast. I'm yet to understand there was no formal communication from the central government on who could have represented government here at this celebration, but I was informed the death of the Honorable Minister Sarah Mateko automatically diverted government's program from this celebration. The Deputy Speaker was being expected. As I speak, we haven't yet got communication on whether he sent a delegation, but of course the kingdom invited the President, who happens to be the head of state, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. 29 years ago, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, was at this same particular place witnessing the journey we are celebrating, as it started from nothing. Then the king, at almost 3.5 years, was enthroned, replacing his late father, who had died in the same year of 1995. A week after the burial, there was nothing to do. Then Oyo, who was very young as a prince, had to take up the mantle of replacing his father, because the kingdom had to move on. And it is indeed very, very energizing that indeed he has carried on that duties even when he was young, up to the day we are now seeing the fruits. He was worked closely with the mother to ensure that they steered this kingdom up to where it is today. And indeed, he deserves all the thanks that their roles, their sweats have really, really driven this kingdom to this 29th anniversary celebration. A celebration which comes alongside many achievements in the sectors of health. The kingdom has constructed different health facilities in Toro Kingdom. They have spearheaded different health camps, health awareness mobilization facilities around. They have been at the forefront of guiding the generation, guiding the country even, guiding the continent, because the king, as you have seen guests coming all over the world, he is not only a resource to this kingdom, but he is a resource to the entire continent and the world. And that's why you see men of God coming as far as from America to come and celebrate with him. On your screens, the king has given an opportunity to young boys and girls, some of who performed here, and they had requested for that photo moment. I think they will go back home seeing the dream already being given a light, that indeed they have not only performed at this celebration, but also gotten a photo moment with the king and the queen mother. I was just giving you a summary of the few activities the kingdom under the leadership of His Royal Highness King Oyo is heading away from the health sector. The king has been at the forefront of ensuring that all the generation under his steps can at least acquire not only complete education, but affordable education facilities. They have constructed schools, they have offered bursaries under the King Oyo Foundation. They are giving scholars to different students who are even going to the level of getting more education careers at different universities. So you can count it on him that indeed he has supported his generation, being a youth who belongs to the generation of the 90s. His traits can count all the time. On your screen is now a photo moment with the religious leaders. Wow. It's a very rare one that almost for 20 minutes the king and the mother have stood there to give opportunity to the few chosen ones, who are almost very many, to take or carry home a photo, not only in their hands but in their memories, that indeed on 12th September 2024, that's a photo they will carry. If there is any other opportunity, they will get. If there is not, then they will count that as the first and last photo moment with the king. Then in issues of agriculture, the king is also urging the communities to ensure that they do productive agriculture, which not only give them food at home, but also make them earn a living in terms of earning some monies, which can also improve on their livelihoods. And this is in line with the government is that they give every community their tractors, the extension workers who are helping in terms of veiling information and knowledge to different farmers, so that at the end of the day, every Ugandan can be to at least engage in productive activity, other than just leaving everyone in gambling and lamentations, where everyone wants government to pickpocket every need of his or hers. So the community, the kingdom is extensively and religiously involving itself in commercial, subsistence, and other forms of farming or agriculture, where at least they bring a change in this community. A productive society is a good one to lead, and I think the king is stepping in with a lot of energy and vigor to ensure that his people don't do anything in their backyards. Of the socio-economic transformation, working closely with the government, we have seen a lot of projects being launched here in the kingdom, where different government officials, we have seen several times the Prime Minister, Ministers of Energy, Tourism, they're all closely working with the kingdom. So the government's relationship with the kingdom is of pace. The kingdom is benefiting to resources, programs, directly to the kingdom or to the communities. And on your screens, that is now the departure of the king, meaning we are finally coming to the end of this live broadcast of this coronation anniversary of King Omukama Oyo Kabamba Iguru, the king of Toro Kingdom. Well, Unless there's anything, I'm yet to be informed by my camera person on what is next on our broadcast. But if there's nothing else, we will want to thank you. We want to hail everyone who has enabled us to ensure that we give you this broadcast. Because as a national broadcaster, we have no other assignment other than informing and entertaining our viewers. And it's been a very, very, very interesting moment that we have been here at Karizuka with all these celebrants, this cheerful. You might have loved the traditional dancing which has been here at Karizuka Palace in Fort Portal City, the tourism city. For those who have never been to Fort Portal, indeed you miss a very good mix of what exactly happens here. Spare your time, spare your money, come over a weekend like a Friday. You will enjoy Fort Portal City to its best. You take home